Why are veterans saying hell no to filling classrooms? And what does it reveal about the state of education in America? Well, you've tuned in to You Can't Make This Shit Up. Your host, David Washington. I'm Joel Hoxley. And we're going to be talking about Orlando Sentinel article that addresses Florida's teaching shortage, pointing out the flaws in initiatives like fast tracking veterans into teaching. It highlights low pay, lack of support, and disrespect as key reasons for this crisis. The piece emphasizes that improving conditions and respect for educators is crucial to resolving the shortage. David?
Well, the disrespect is a given, seeing all the cultural war issues that have tarnished the Florida public school system, from the book bans to the don't say gay laws, and just teachers being battered, if that's a word, targeted, school boards having to deal with issues that really don't go to what's we need to be educating our kids on. Why would my kid need to be educated about communism in kindergarten or preschool? I don't get that. The public school system is being drained of public tax dollars, going to $8,000 scholarships to take to private schools, charter schools, whatever. We're seeing some school districts consider closing schools, public schools in their districts, and it's a great idea to get veterans into our public school system, and the effort tallied, I think, an additional 3 teachers who are veterans across the state.
No,
So
that
that
was not that was in Orange County. There was only 3
okay.
in Orange County. No,
Okay, all right.
don't make it the whole state, because then it really embarrasses us.
It's been a while. Okay, thank you for the clarification. I
No,
stand corrected.
I
But,
totally
but
get it.
Orange County has a ton of many vacancies, and so we've got a lot of these teachers ready to retire. They're boomers, and it's time to retire. We're facing a crisis in public education. The charter school, private school system is not as regulated as the public school system. So,
I have a different perspective, of course, because I come
let's
from a
do it.
different angle at it.
Sure.
I think that parents need to start parenting. If parents did their job, we would not have the dangerous conditions and the parents that don't take care of their children and raise them right, or sending them into school into a combat zone, and they're expecting teachers to be the parents.
Where?
That's not their job. When you're watching viral videos of teachers being attacked, teachers actually striking back because they're in
The same
fear for their life.
videos. The same
It,
videos being regurgitated. I mean, I'm not saying this right, and I'm not saying it's a problem. Hell yeah,
Well,
it's a problem.
you're not gonna have a soldier. You're not gonna have a soldier who's put his life on the line for his country to go into a classroom and have to raise your child. I mean, that's just why
Yeah.
we're not going in there. That's why we're not doing it. If
Mhm.
you don't want to educate your child, that's fine. That's fine. But at
Mhm.
least teach them how to be a respectful individual, to be able to be a proper student in a classroom, get along with each other. And that's what's the problem in society today, is we're not even getting along with each other because we're so divided in politics. Now our children are divided in school. I
Mhm.
don't think this fixes, I don't think it's about where the money's going or how much money is being put into it. It's the fact that it's so disrespected profession nowadays. Nobody wants to be a teacher. There's no reward in it. I mean, I would say that, hey, how many teachers have the joy of watching somebody develop and come back to them? That's what it used to be about. Hey, my student is president of the United States. My student did this. My students did this. That's my accomplishment. Nowadays, we don't get to see that anymore. We see very little of it.
I believe you are correct in saying that parents are not taking the full responsibility in the parenting of their children. With the stressors and the difficulties of being a parent, let alone a human being in this America, it's hard. It's really hard. However, again, we do it to ourselves. We need to return to, or emphasize the family structure and bring accountability back to our families, our parents, because you can't really blame the kids for their behavior, because they model after what they see and hear and experience at home. Um, enough of we need more of our parents to be involved in our schools. And let me back that up. They need to be more involved with their children. And I think also schools should be more a part of our communities. It's heartbreaking for me to drive by a school um, in the evening, or the late afternoon, or on the weekend, and see this building unoccupied, see the school grounds, the playground, the field unoccupied. These are great opportunities for the Boy Scouts, now known as the Scouts of America, Girl Scouts, extracurricular activities, sports groups, youth activities to foster, to grow. And you've got these institutions in our communities that are pretty much are fancy daycares during the day, and then shut down completely when kids really need to be um, active in a positive way. I went to a private school, and in the afternoons after school, we had after school clubs, we had programs. On the weekends, we had the Boy Scouts, we had sports activities, and the campus was open.
Listen, I can't tell you how many times I would go to school when school was not in session. Like, hey,
Hmm.
I had to go to the South Junior High School to my brother's Weeblos, and then I had to go over to Cub Scouts over at another school down, an elementary school, and then I would end up, we were playing basketball, so we'd end up going to basketball at another school, and then we would have competitions in that, and we would meet at other
Hmm.
schools to have
Yep.
more
Uh-oh.
time. Am I bad again? Like, am I coming out again?
You're better now. You're better now.
So I was just like, I'm looking at the whole picture going, I spent time in school during school hours and after school. And after school was not because it was a program that I was forced to stay in because my mother and father were still working. It was something that was available and we could sign up for. I mean, I'm not putting this totally on the parents. And yes, it sounded like I said that, but it's scary for teachers. It's why do you think they want to get paid so much? It's
Hmm.
because they want to be able to make a living and They want to get compensated for the danger and the responsibility that's been put on their shoulder. I can't tell you how many teachers feel for because they feel like I'm not getting a chance to teach because I have to deal with all this other issues, all these issues that come in with that child. And we've talked about it. There are programs where we're trying to get, you know, we're trying to get chaplains into schools, good or bad. The program's flawed. They find this wrong with it. There's this wrong with that. Then we want to put teachers, we want to get soldiers who would have no problem transferring from soldier to teacher if it weren't a thankless job. I mean, being in the service wasn't the thankful job that you think it was. It was work
Mhm.
every day. You had the danger of going to war, but a classroom's a scarier place. We talk, why are they doing this? Why do they want us in the classroom? You know, it's
Because
because
you all know how to handle a firearm. We need
we,
lots more
well,
guns in the class.
we all need to have a gun in our desk. I mean, come on now.
Right.
And we have to have it accessible so children can get it. Listen, I'm
Teach
I'm
them
playing.
early.
Look, I would have been a whole lot better student if I knew my teacher might have a gun in the desk because I am not getting out of that chair. If she says, sit down or Smith and Wesson's going to take care of you, I'm going to be like, I don't want Smith or Wesson coming out of that desk.
I just remember in fifth grade, Mr. Diggs having this big ass paddle right there on the blackboard. And like you walk in, you see it, you sit down, you see it. He's giving his lesson, you see it. And plus, he was a man,
But
a black
corporate,
man.
but
And seeing the black man in fifth grade teaching phonics to me, I didn't pay attention, as you all probably could tell, but teaching phonics but seeing him, it was like having my dad there, and the respect. And it's not saying I didn't have respect for the female teachers, especially Sister Carol, who later became Miss Carol. I mean, she was intense until she became Miss Carol and got married. But it's just eh, eh, the respect that I have for my teachers
of
has
course.
always been there, and that's what's missing because we don't propel, we don't, what's the word I'm looking, highlight, we don't, you know honor our teachers, and we
Exactly.
don't give them the respect that they need, that they
And I
deserve.
and I get the fact that we're talking dollars and cents, right? We've escalated and we've escalated our our investment in our new teachers. We're trying to, as a state, catch up with our veteran teachers, and it's not working fast enough. These are not happening fast enough, but we've got to address the whole picture. We have to get education where it's respectable again, where it's people want to do it because they know that this is something that's going to be rewarding and not challenging. I mean, if you're here's the thing that always got me when I would go to talk to my children's teachers. I showed up, and how few people were there to actually discuss parent teacher conferences. How many times it was just a mom, or it was myself and it was Kristen. We would go in and we would talk to these teachers.
Mhm.
It If we couldn't be in one classroom at the same time, we were still there to do two different teachers, but we were a team, and that was important. And when they start talking about your child, and I know it's not easy to hear somebody say something that's not positive, but take it as that's the way your child is acting in that classroom. What's going on? You can then develop it. But here, you tell the teacher, you tell them, oh, your son's not paying attention, and it's the teacher's fault. And all of a sudden they get hostile. And these are stories I hear from. It's like I don't want a parent to come in because they're worse than their child sometimes. They get
It's
angry.
unfortunate.
They get angry over things that aren't, there's nothing to be angry about. He's just not developing as quickly as his peers.
Right.
He
Right.
has his attentions are elsewhere. I can't tell you how many times the teachers would say, Joel is so smart, but he just isn't there. Like he's everywhere else in his mind. You think he's like paying attention, and instead of reading that book, he's building a nuclear power plant in his head instead of doing what he should be doing. And
Right.
it's hard to explain that to a parent because the parent wants you to be like, "What do you mean you weren't paying attention? What were you?" No, you had a great imagination. So let's do something with his imagination. Was what we would get. Like let's develop on what he's doing there. But we
Mhm.
don't even do that. We don't take those skills like is this learner this type of learner, is this type of learner, because we just trying to get one size fits all, get them through this grade to the next grade. And how many times is it, well, we don't want them to be embarrassed, so we're not going to hold them back, so we're going to send them forward, we're going to
It's a
send them forward.
disservice.
And they would get into the next grade and they would be lost, and now you've just ruined a child's
Mhm.
ambition to be better because you sent them when their reading skill wasn't there or this wasn't ready.
Right.
So, look, I think this is a great topic to talk about, but we have to we have to stop lowering the age. Okay, now we're going to have 3 year olds and 4 year olds in these classrooms that they're not learning anything. They're
It's
just
just
it,
specialized babysitting.
yes. Look, let's work on our economy. Let's make our economy better. Let's make teaching uh, you know, pay better because we have a better economy. If we have a better economy, then things would be, it just stretches it so much. We don't want mom and dad working 2 jobs because that's 4 jobs for one household, and that's hours. Look, we now have 32-hour work weeks. We now have 32-hour work weeks because that's full time. And companies are saying, okay, well, I don't want to get them into the benefit, so I'm not going to give them the 40 hours. So now you're working, 64 hours between 2 jobs, and the other person's working 64 hours between 2 jobs. You're not home. You're not home.
There
If
it
you're not,
is.
if you're
There
not
it is.
home, you're not home. Of course, you're going to expect the teacher to raise your children because you're not home to be there for them.
Right.
Look, a better economy with better jobs will make it less jobs, and then we can have, I would always like to have one person stay home, don't matter if
Thank you.
mom or dad, one person staying home because you're making enough money. Look, you don't need to work at Walmart, right? You can work at Walmart while your child's in school and then come home from Walmart
Thank
and
you.
be there, because you just got to advance yourself, get that job, get a better job, and keep moving forward so that your children can have somebody at home that says, hey, let's take a half hour and read a book together, and then
Yeah.
go out and play all you want to. But David, until we get back to the family structure, I mean, I love the fact that we wear this badge of honor that, oh,
Mhm.
my mom was a single parent and she did all this and she did all that. She didn't have to.
She didn't have to.
She
She
didn't
didn't have
have to because there was always an option in her life. And look, I think that it's great that she was brave and she did that, but she didn't have to. And in today's economy, we need to get better jobs for each and every family, because that's what's going to make us a stronger nation.
I agree with you, Joel. Very quickly, I agree with you. A better economy where you don't have to work, have two adults, two parents working outside the home. And you don't, and this is why I don't watch television or listen to commercial radio, because there's so much garbage that is just spewed through these devices, and also social media, that says, "Oh, you need to have this. You want this because it makes you feel good." A very humble existence. It, it goes so far, especially when you're home with your children, and or one of the parents is there raising the kids. So much difference. When I was married, we worked it out where my ex-wife was able to stay home with our boys. I don't know why she wanted a divorce. Yes, I do, because I was always working. But it doesn't make sense because the boss chick that she is, now she has to work. She doesn't have the home that she lives in. And our third son did not have the same benefits of a parent being home and a father being home like his two older sons or older brothers. And,
Mm.
that'll work itself out in the future. Love my boys. But I agree with you. However, I agree with you, Joel. An economy where you don't have to have two parents working out of the home, where one can stay home in a great neighborhood, great education system, great community support, and live a decent life. I'll stop there because I think we could do another show about all this on this particular part of the topic.
Look, we want your opinion. David and I have come to some agreements in here. We still have some disagreements, but this article, if you want to get it, it's in the Orlando Sentinel. It's written by Scott Maxwell. He's an opinion columnist for the Sentinel. Like, share. The link to the article will be there. So, Jay and Washington Network, we're trying to get you the best content. Please like, share, and comment. David, you can take us out.
Yes, like Joel said, please like, share, comments. We want to hear what you have to say. You can put aside the feelings, give us the facts. We enjoy engaging with you and responding to the comments. Check out the Hawkeye. We have renamed and rebrand our blog on our website where there's some changes coming. We've got a new group of associates who are going to be a part of the Hawkeye and, of course, the Informer and everything else that we do. But check it out. New format, rebranding, a whole bunch of cool stuff, and stuff that is more relevant right now. And also into the future. We got you covered. Hey, and Joel is running for Castleberry councilman, or is it commissioner? Seat
Commissioner.
4. Commissioner, seat
Commissioner
4.
for seat 4. I
So
hope to have you
stay tuned for
support out
that.
there. And Hawkeye, make sure you know that former President Donald Trump was found guilty on 34 counts. Thank you very much.